Conservation Day celebrations. Just letting you know that this event is also live on YouTube, so you can join there at any point in time if you have any questions. Before we begin, I would like to extend a warm thank you to our special guests who have joined us here. Mr. Madineni Prasad and Mr. Kushal Sosale from ITC, Mr. Rajendra Gade and Mr. Rupesh Chaudhary from Sun Pharma, Mr. Jaiprakash Gupta from AB InBev, Mr. Surinder Thakur from Hindustan Unilever, Mr. Sunil Takale from Omni Active, and Mr. Vipin Kumar from Mondelez Induri. Thank you so much for joining us over here. In 2001, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency instituted 14 December as National Energy Conservation Day. At Forbes Marshall, this day is especially meaningful. It reaffirms our commitment to helping industries conserve energy, optimize processes, and reduce their impact on the environment. Every year, we celebrate this day with the objective of building awareness about the need and benefit of saving energy. Each year, through our Energy Conservation Awards, we also recognize companies that have done an outstanding work in reducing their energy footprint and improving process efficiency, while minimizing their impact on the environment. Today, we celebrate these exemplary achievements and draw inspiration from their journey towards sustainability. To begin with, I would like to call Mr. Satyadev Purohit, Director Forbes Marshall, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Nikinda. It's a pleasure to welcome you all for this event, and a very important event, as she mentioned, for Forbes Marshall, given it's the Energy Conservation Day. It's celebrated on 14th, but for convenience, we are doing it today on the 12th. And thank you all for joining us today in this event physically as well as online to make contributions to make this event a successful event. I think ever since we started this event and started inviting entries for the best energy efficient plant, the enthusiasm has grown, and this year we have, I think, Mukund, you can correct me, I think we have got 100 entries equally split between international firms as well as the domestic firms. And I think some of the case studies they will present, and we'll see the phenomenal potential that exists for conserving energy, especially in the steam systems, which is what we will be talking about very specifically during the next couple of hours. I think when we are talking about energy efficiency in steam systems, we have to start with the premise that any utility is a slave system. What is taking precedence is the production. The very utility exists to make the production happen. So the utility needs to ensure that the production is happening efficiently, and then we talk about optimizing the utility consumption with respect to the right design and the operation of that utility. When we are looking at the potential that exists in steam systems across the country, especially in the process plants, we find that the opportunity is huge. When we are doing energy audits, we find on an average, we identify savings of 25 to 35% in the fuel consumption in the steam systems. And when we are looking at benchmarking of various industries, we also find that the difference between the best industry energy consumption and the average for the industry is equally large. It's somewhere around 40 to 50%. So if you look at specific steam consumption for the best plant in the industry segment and the average for that industry segment, there's a gap of 40% in terms of energy consumption. So while we can better the best and take the best forward, I think the need of the hour is how do we improve the averages to come closer to the best, because the tomorrow is already existing today in terms of what efficiency can be achieved. There are newer technologies on the anvil which can come and improve our ability to show a better performance. But what exists today, what people are already using, what is established, also provides such a huge opportunity for us to reduce our energy footprint in the process industries. Before going forward, I will request Smile to add a few words in what we find during the audits. Where do we see this opportunity of 25 to 35% coming from? And what do we see in terms of benchmarking exercise when we do for the various industry segments?
Thank you, Satya. Good morning, everyone. I think we have been doing these audits over 35 years now, actually. If you really look at the saving potential, on an average, we are delivering it's about 20-25% across. Industry-wise, if you really look at maybe the pharma and chemical 12-15%, food and beverages close to 15 to 20%, textiles higher 25% plus. Even if you look at the overseas customers, we identify much higher potentials in the outside in India. Actually, it's ranging from 35 to 45% levels actually, and this is basically from the basic steam and condensate system. Like if you look at the generation side, which is the boiler house, on an average 4 to 7% it comes from there, and the distribution it varies from 1 to 4%, and the utilization area where the steam is consumed, there we identified almost 8 to 14%. That's the maximum. On the condensate and flash recovery, it's about 4 to 7%. This is on basic steam and condensate. Then you look at the heat recovery potential, you will identify 8 to 12% there. And then you can get into the process efficiency. So that way I think potential is huge across these industries. Also, when we look into the audits, we also sort of understand while you are doing audits, the root cause of these variations in the parameters, because many a time when you find this few traps are leaking, the tendency is to replace the traps and then leave it there actually. After a few months, the performance goes back actually. So that's where while audits are done, you understand the root cause. While you are providing these solutions, take care of the design and the other aspects, so that when you implement it, you are able to get the sustainable benefits actually. So also, it's not done as a one-time activity. We are also sort of looking at how do we have this engagement, because many other parameters also impact the customers. We also work with the customers on an ongoing partnership basis. How do we sustain these benefits in a real-time basis actually? And just to add a point on the industry benchmarks, I think we have been doing this from 2003, and over a period of time we keep monitoring every 5 years. And while we are reducing every 5 to 10 years, 30% reduction, but we are able to identify more potential because your own knowledge on the industry is going up. You are able to provide customized solutions. So that way we are able to bring the bettering the plants actually. But even if you look at best plants, it's 1 or 2 plants. If you pick up any industry, you will find 2 or 3 plants in a region. It's in the best category. It means majority is still in the average. So that way also, if you really see, you will able to find almost close to 40% potential even from the best to average plants actually. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Mile. I think the way we look at improving the efficiency, Mile talked about few of these points, is start with the right design, because if we don't have the right design in the plant, then the rest of the effort may not yield the results that we want. So start with the design. Many a times what we find in the steam system, the problem is something very basic, oversizing or undersizing the systems, starting with the boilers. I think if we look at the average boilers in the country, we have about somewhere around 50,000 plus steam boilers operating in process industries in India. And the average load on the boilers is 1/3 of the installed capacity. So the boilers are grossly oversized. A 1-ton boiler is actually running at a 300 kg per hour load on an average across all industries and installed capacity of boilers in India. This leads to a lot of efficiency loss. Same way we look at plants, when we are looking at the distribution network, we are finding sometimes the distribution lines are oversized, which leads to larger radiation losses. Sometimes the lines are undersized because tappings have been taken from the same lines as the plant has modified and equipments have got added, and you have pressure loss problems, you have steam starvation problems, so the equipment doesn't deliver on the production that it's supposed to. So I think getting the design right is the first preliminary step that we have to take. But it's not so easy as one can say. In the process plants, most of the processes are batch type. The product mix is changing, what we are manufacturing. The capacity utilization of the plant is changing. There is seasonal variation in the production. So when you have such a varied process and steam consumption, how do you correctly size without getting into the issues of undersizing and oversizing? So more and more our endeavor has been to make the steam system design as modular as possible. If you are buying a 8-ton boiler, think whether you need one 8-tonner or two 4-tonners. Will two 4-tonners do better justice to the load that your plant has and also provide you a standby in case you need it? Or do you go for a higher capacity boiler which runs at much higher 1/3 of its load most of its life and then delivers you a lower steam to fuel ratio? So many things like that. How do we make the steam system design more amenable to the varying loads that it's supposed to deliver to the process on? The second part of design is many a times we feel that in existing plants we have to live with the design that we have got and we have to make it operate to the best of our ability. Our energy audit and implementation business indicates that it's very possible to change and correct the design in existing plants also. We need not live with the problems that we face because of incorrect design at the initial starting point of the plant. So changing design in an existing plant is also feasible, and most of the case studies that we will hear today from the people who have participated in this Encon prize will be relating to that. The second part after design, which is very essential, is technology. I think the technology of the process to make it more energy efficient takes simple things like dyeing processes in textile. Not many years back, many of the plants in textile industry had open jiggers, went on to close winches, went on to close dyeing machines, jet dyeing, beam dyeing machines. And today we are talking about low liquor dyeing machines where the MLR ratios are much lesser than what we used to see earlier. So the iteration in the process technology also helps improve the energy efficiency, as does the products that you deploy on this technology. Just to take the example of a dyeing machine or a reactor in chemical plants, there are multiple utilities going through the same heat exchange space. And it is very difficult to differentiate between the different utilities, and which ultimately ends up in a loss. So just a few months back, we had a launch of a very innovative product called Multiple Utility Process Trap, which not only traps steam and removes condensate, but also distinguishes between different utilities and ensures that the process is automated without any loss of condensate or cooling water. So I think the process technology, as well as designing products in the steam system which are aligned to make that application come alive, are the need of the hour, and choosing the right technology is very essential. The third part which is essential for energy efficiency, is operation and maintenance practices. I think we have done these surveys over a period of time where we ask our customers what is their spend on maintenance for steam systems specifically. Most of the plants do not have a separate budget for steam system maintenance. It's a combined budget for maintenance. So we then request them to look at the spend that they have done and what out of that is actually for steam systems. And to the customer's surprise and to our surprise, the spend on maintenance is negligible on the steam system. Whatever spent is there, most of it is taken up by boilers, which to a certain extent is a mandatory spend that the boilers require. And there is some focus in terms of insulation, cladding, and rectifying pipes which have leakages in them, but very little maintenance. We are talking about at best 1 or 2 lakhs per month of maintenance cost for the entire steam system. But if you look at the operating cost of the steam system, it comes from the fuel bill. So whatever we are saving in the maintenance is actually reflecting in the fuel bill. So I'll give you some figures at the end of how this works out. Why is maintenance required in the steam system? As you know, steam exists in biphase. It's even at 100% dry saturation, it's in complete vapor phase, but most of the steam that we see in process plants is wet steam. It has certain amount of dryness fraction. So when condensate, which is in liquid form, travels with steam, which is in vapor forms, and travels at a velocity of 25 to 30 meters per second, you have water hammering effects, because water should ideally travel at 6 to 9 meters per second velocity. Steam in vapor form is traveling at 30 meters per second velocity. So this leads to many issues of joint leakages, problems, especially at the joints, if the condensate and steam is not separated properly in the entire steam system. It's also corrosive, because when steam condenses, it's pure water, so the pH is acidic. So there is corrosion happening. Because of velocity, there is erosion happening. So steam systems, there is no steam system which one can say is fit and forget. They do require maintenance. They do require upkeep to deliver the best performance. So I think the third aspect that is very essential in achieving the energy efficiency that we are talking about is O&M. And the last aspect is the sustenance, which Mail just now talked about. Having achieved the best performance parameters, if we are not aware of what's happening on a routine basis, if we are not getting real-time data of our KPIs, we might slip back on the performance very easily. So I think monitoring the key KPIs on the basis of real-time, having go-to actions in place if they deteriorate, is very essential. Otherwise, it will again show up in the month's fuel bill, and then it will be too late for us to take any actions. So before ending, I will just give you the implication of these 4 steps. Just consider a 5 tons per hour plant, process plant, which is a very average and a medium-sized plant, which is having 30 mainline traps in the distribution network. If the mainline traps have an uptime of 70%, the cost of ownership, just on the basis of energy, the cost of ownership of the mainline trap per trap is 70,000 rupees per trap if the uptime of the 30 traps is 70%. If the same uptime improves to 95%, the cost of ownership of the mainline trap becomes 5,000 rupees per trap per year. So it's a difference between 75,000 rupees per trap per year and 5,000 rupees per trap per year, just by improving the uptime from 70 to 95%. I specifically took this example of 70 to 95. I was speaking to Harish just now, and he was telling me the uptime in his grid is 70%. And he was saying, I'm preparing a plan, how can I help the customers to achieve the uptime of 95% plus. So that's the implication, going from 70% uptime to 95% uptime. And this is in mainline traps. If you look at process trap, a typical plant, similar 5-ton plant having 15 process traps, if the uptime is 70% and if the uptime is 100%, the difference is 1,60,000 rupees. If the uptime is 70%, a process trap cost of ownership becomes 1,60,000 rupees per year. And if the uptime is 100%, there is no cost of ownership, energy cost of ownership for the steam trap. So energy efficiency impacts our day-to-day operation in terms of production, process parameters that we want to achieve, but it also impacts the cost we are bearing to make this production happen. So it's the one thing that can ensure there is no compromise required. You can get the best production at the right quality and at the right cost by focusing on the efficiency of the steam systems. Having said that, thank you once again, and looking forward to hearing from our guest speakers the keynote address and from the participants who have enrolled in the Energy Conservation Awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Purohit and Mr. Mail, for sharing your valuable insights. Now it is my honor to introduce our keynote speaker of the day, Mr. Rahul Awasthi, Global Head of Operations, Sun Pharmaceuticals Industries Limited, who is going to join us online. I again request you all to join our YouTube live link. In case you have any questions for Mr. Awasthi while he speaks, please put it on the chat and we will address it once he's finished speaking. Mr. Awasthi, a transformational global operations leader, is currently overseeing 43 manufacturing facilities across India, US, Canada, Israel, Europe, Africa, and Asia, and guiding a team of more than 15,000 members worldwide. Under his leadership, Sun Pharma drives an annual revenue of nearly 6 billion USD, with strategic focus areas spanning manufacturing, capital projects, ESG, quality, sustainability, network strategy, and service excellence. With a distinguished career across top multinational FMCG and pharmaceutical organizations, he is widely recognized for his expertise in manufacturing excellence, supply chain strategy, and operational leadership. A CPIM certified professional, Mr. Awasthi brings deep hands-on experience and a visionary approach to building future-ready, sustainable operations. I now invite Mr. Awasthi to share a few words of inspiration with us. Mr. Awasthi, kindly give us a couple of minutes. We are fixing some tech issue. Everyone, thank you.
Mr. Awasthi, can you speak something?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible now. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everyone. And I really want to thank Forbes Marshall to give me this opportunity to speak to all of you. This is an event which is important enough for me to actually visit there, and Mukund was behind me. However, I have some pre-commitments and hence I am unable to physically be present with all of you. But nevertheless, this is a very important event and I am glad that I have been chosen to speak to all of you. And thanks a lot for introducing me. I was not aware of so many achievements which I had. Thanks for reminding. It is all about because of the team which worked with me and helped me really deliver what I could. And I was listening to what Satya was sharing for 15 minutes or so. And it is really, really very insightful. And I recognize that I will never be able to speak in so much technicality as he can. And hence I will prevent myself to not venture into that area. However, I will still share some insights which I had. And to my mind, I consider this entire space of energy, utility management very close to my heart. Energy is actually the lifeblood of the industry and of modern industry. And by design, any industry is very, very energy intensive. Now, what is happening globally and what is the current global landscape? There is a lot of focus happening on cost, there is a lot of focus on safety, and there is unprecedented challenge on the climate change and sustainability. And all these areas, the areas which can be addressed very effectively by energy conservation in the group which is sitting in this forum. Now come more closer to India. Most of you are aware that India is growing at rate of 7-8%. It is a GDP growth, and most of this growth is coming from manufacturing. Manufacturing also is growing at a rate of 8% or more. And when industry grows like this, even service industry grows like this, the requirement of energy goes in the same proportion. If we don't do anything in a do-nothing scenario and we keep on guzzling the energy the way we are doing today, it is actually absolutely unsustainable. If we keep on increasing our energy resource consumption at 8% year on year, then we will be left with none after some time. And hence it is very, very important that we really work collectively to resolve this issue. With this context, I was just reflecting on the current situation of our energy management and utility. And Satya actually touched upon the topic, but I want to share my perspective that with whatever improvement we are doing, we still consider utility and energy as our backyard operation. And I see a lot of focus given by the leaders in improving the hygiene of the shop floor, manufacturing area, but the same level of rigor and focus is not there on the utility. And all of us are the professionals, understand the importance of utility and energy management. And I just want to give an analogy with our body. If you see our body, heart is what actually a boiler is in the industry. The entire energy of the body comes from heart. Similarly, entire energy of a factory, of a manufacturing system comes from a boiler. But you see the difference between our approach when we think about the body, we replicate the same in our factory or manufacturing environment. We take care of our heart well, every routine inspection, every preventive maintenance, we ensure that it is done, corrective measures are taken, but the same rigor in managing our utilities is not there. And it's not only about energy conservation, but even at the overall asset management and upkeep of the facility. And to me, it is a mindset. And we as a team need to change this mindset towards utility and consider this as actually the front yard of the factory. And this is not a company issue. In my view, it is a collective issue for industry and nation as a whole as to how we will bring this entire management center stage. And I look up to all of you, all the professionals of Forbes Marshall, similar organization, and actually the manufacturing professionals who are joined physically and who are on the call to lead this initiative. And I congratulate Forbes Marshall for arranging this kind of forum when we talk about it and really learn from each other. Now come to closer to the industry where I am currently, which is a pharma industry. In pharma, by virtue of the demand of the product and the regulatory compliance issues which happen in pharma industry, we require a lot of environment management in our facility. And when you do that, the cost of energy goes multifold. We have to maintain the temperature and relative humidity of our entire premises, and that calls for a lot of HVACs, a lot of steam consumption, a lot of chiller operation, and hence you can see that in the kind of OPEX model we have. Out of our total operational expenditure of around 100% on entire engineering, roughly 30 to 35% of the spend actually happens on fuel, which is a very, very large sum. And really, as an industry, as an organization, we are focusing on ensuring we leverage efficiency to the hilt. And I am really proud to share with you that our teams are working very well in the organization. And in last 3 to 4 years' time, we were able to reduce our specific consumption, energy consumption by more than 30%. And not only specific energy consumption, but overall cost reduction is even more than that. Because our strategy is threefold. The first strategy is to really use smart fuel and have fuel flexibility in our operations. Just to give you an example, even in a biomass boiler, which most of the organization now had, you can have fuel which is cost 8 to 9,000 rupees per ton, and you can also use a fuel which costs around 6 to 7,000 rupees per ton, depending on location, if you have a flexibility of running different type of biomass in your boiler. The second lever which we use is entire efficiency of energy usage, which is the recovery. In some of the factories, our recovery number is more than 90%. With feed water temperature goes as high as 85 to 90 degrees centigrade, and that really helped us in optimizing our energy bill. The third area which we are focusing on is the use of digitization in our operations. We have lots of use cases of using artificial intelligence and machine learning. By the way we operate our HVACs and manage the environment, we also have use cases wherein we have used digital tool to optimize our steam condensate, and that has helped us big time. The third area, the last area is actually the steam and fuel ratio, and talked about it. And the teams are doing a great job, and I'm sure the same job is done by most of the organizations who are present in the call. I urge each one of you to continue thrust on this area. To my mind, there are three key important areas which each one of us needs to focus on. The first and foremost is asset management. In my mind, whatever digitization we do, whatever infrastructure improvement we do, unless we do our asset management well, which is the upkeep of the boiler, upkeep of our steam traps, which is basic engineering, we will not be able to extract the full advantage of digitization and other tools. The second area which is fastly emerging is sustainability, and there is a lot of focus because top companies, top 100 companies market cap have to report all fuel emissions, everything up to Scope 3, BRSR, and even a lot of consumers and the customers are asking for very good Dow Jones sustainability score, and hence a lot of management focus is going in sustainability. We are recently facing a lot of challenges because I am aware that most of the evolved operations have changed their fuel from HSD and furnace oil first to PNG and then to biomass. But there are a lot of challenges coming from the state regulatories in terms of choice of fuel. Despite complying to the emission norm, there is a perception issue where a lot of state governments and pollution control boards are pushing the team to move back from biomass to PNG, and that is a larger implication on the cost of operation. As a team, we need to work together to really change this perception, work with regulatory agency to change this perception so that a huge amount of capex investment and OPEX cost can be avoided. The third area, which is very, very important, is digitization. I talked in the context of what we are doing, but this area is largely untapped area to my mind. When we talk about Industry 4.0 or many initiatives, I see most of the focus again remains in manufacturing operation, wherein people talk about manufacturing control tower, efficiency control tower, asset utilization, and all those things. But I have not seen an energy control tower anywhere. I have seen sporadically where people are getting data from boiler, data from compressor, independent data from chiller. But to compile each of these tools and make a unified tool to have the overall dashboard of digital in a factory is an area where each one of us should work. We will certainly try and pilot in some of the areas. But I am sure with the collective might of this group, we will be able to do much more than what we are doing currently. And we will not only save the money for the organization, but make our utility management and infrastructure management in such a way that any visitor is coming to a factory, the first port of call should not be on the manufacturing floor, but to a boiler house or at a chiller. And we can proudly say that we maintain them as well or even better than how we maintain our manufacturing areas. with this, I will just stop here and will be open for if anybody has any question to ask. Thanks a lot again for the invite and opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Avasthi, for your wise words. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Avasthi? Okay. Anything on the chat? YouTube chat? Okay. I would now like to call upon our guest speaker, Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh, General Manager, Engineering and Projects, Food Division at ITC, who will also be joining us online. With over 2 decades of experience across project management, engineering, and operations, Mr. Manoj has been a driving force behind ITC's capacity expansion and large-scale engineering initiatives. He has successfully led multiple greenfield projects, complex brownfield expansions, and end-to-end manufacturing line implementations across the food and dairy sectors. In recent years, he has also accelerated the procurement and commissioning of several solid fuel boilers across ITC's food joints. Request anyone, if you have any questions, kindly put it in our YouTube chat. I now request Mr. Manoj to share his perspective with us.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to speak on this very great occasion of Energy Conservation Day. First of all, I wanted to thank you, the Forbes Marshall team for taking such a great initiative and organizing this event and also competition across the industry for last many years. In fact, I and my colleague Prema Guru, who is also connected here along with me, we had a plan to reach out on this occasion and meet personally there. But, in a similar line, we at ITC, we organize an event called Ignite, in which, the engineering team across all the locations, they come and showcase the initiative which they have taken. So that event took place yesterday, and we had, a lot of engagement, so could not come personally, but, pleasure connecting here. Now, my colleague, Mr. Prashad and Kusal, they are connected. So I think they can also take some questions if something is there. And, we'll be happy to take any question after the short discussion. Now, the subject which I have been told to speak about is the energy conservation and sustainability. So ITC, set a lot of examples in this particular segment, and we have put some slide. So let me put it on the screen, and then we'll talk about that. Please confirm if you can see the screen so that, I can.
Yes, we can see the screen.
One second, I'm just shifting it from presenter mode. All right. So we have tried to put some slide together so that the subject is can be more explained, and what all we do at ITC will be able to put it in with some data and facts here, right? So very great, beginning by Mr. Purohit, and also the follow-up session by Mr. Rahul Avasthi. So a lot of context has been set and a lot of discussion has happened. So in the initial discussion, Mr. Purohit mentioned about the design related challenges, and we understand and appreciate his point. He talked about the boiler utilization, and when we do a sizing, it's very difficult to precisely go by the matching the demand and supply size. So there'll always be a gap, and then our the utilization of run hours or percentage of loading on the boiler goes drastically down, and hence the concept of modular boiler is very good. And I'm happy to say here in this forum that in last 5 years we procured around 16 boilers, with a multiple combinations. So wherever we wanted to have, 13 tons of boiler, we have gone for 4.5 ton into 3, so that, we can have a better energy efficiency and we can utilize the boiler in a most energy efficient manner while running it. So coming back to, very quick glimpse, what all we do. However, most of the, audiences might be aware about it. We are present in all three businesses in Indian economy, primarily, the agri business, manufacturing and services sector. Now, a lot of chunk or larger chunk is there in the manufacturing, and that's where, the energy conservation or the consumption of the power, fuel and all is quite high. This is a very energy intensive sector, and that's where the energy conservation and sustainability plays a very big role. So at ITC we are committed to do the best kind of system, and also we adhere to our triple bottom line policy, which is also quite popular and quite famous, and these details are available in the public domain also. So, on this slide, we represent here from ITC Foods business. And when it comes to business, foods, FMCG business, we are leading and responsible business player in the market. And we are sustaining their positions by having a sustainable supply chain, the better manufacturing facility, pan-India distributed manufacturing. So a lot of uniqueness is there in the system, and then that's how you can see, we have leading position in the branded atta, in potato, the extruded snacks, biscuits, stationery products, and also into, the other businesses. So the key point here I wanted you to look at it, is the company goal towards the net zero operations by 2050. And as on today, we are already, 52% of our energy consumption happens, energy sources are from renewable sources. So, whatever target we had set for ourselves to achieve by 2030, we are ahead of the curve, and our 52% of the energy is coming from RE sources. Our 53% of the power, that is also coming from renewable sources, which is a combination of solar and the wind energy. We are also take care about the waste generation. So 99% of the waste which is generated in our factory, that is also getting recycled. So our first intent is also to have a minimal wastage, but again, whatever is happening, we try and address it through the recycling process. At our company level, we are also maintaining the plastic neutrality position from 21-22, and in the water sustainability all creative. CSR team primarily working on the multiple rainwater harvesting projects in our operating area, and that's how till date we can see around 60 million KL of rainwater harvesting infrastructure has been built at rural area, rural, urban, or our manufacturing locations area. So these are all very great initiative taken by the company, and that's how we are sustaining it. Now coming to what is the key driver, why we are talking about the sustainability and other aspects. So the sustainability 2.0, you can see this is a key driver. This is one of the key driver, and ITC next strategy on which the entire management top leadership team is committed to it, and that's how down the line also we are trying and delivering in all aspect of our value chain. So beyond sustainability, our focus is also to drive the multiple drivers of growth for company top line. We also invest a lot on the innovation and R&D. We focus and we take care of our supply chain end to end. We are also working a lot on the digital infrastructure, be it manufacturing, supply chain. So end to end, we are mapping, and we are working a lot with help of AI and ML technology. And also, once things are taken care of, obviously the cost, agility, and productivity is the outcome of that. So that will also get addressed. So the key point here to take is the shift from triple bottom line, which was quite generic, with a specific milestone or target, which we try and deliver in the Sustainability 2.0 aims. So when it comes to, the specific our foods division, so I mentioned about, the end-to-end the supply chain system. So along with our suppliers and value chain partners, contract manufacturing units, we try and address and also try and expedite the ESG compliances, which is, the environmental, social, and governance at ITC in the entire value chain. And we also, support the team to basically come forward and support us in many such initiatives. When it comes to direct operations, which is largely in our control, we are trying and adopting and reaching a higher and higher milestone towards 100% RE power, towards the larger value of, the overall RE energy. And also we are working in the reduction measures to, to minimize the specific energy conservation, to reduce the emissions and also the water consumption directly linked to the per kg of the finished product. So there also a lot of work is happening. Some of our manufacturing factory is there in the water stress area. So a lot of work is happening to, improve the groundwater condition, and also our plants is getting audited, all the recommendations and all is getting, implemented. So a lot of work we are doing in that direction also. When it comes to, packaging and nutrition, so here also, separate team is working on the multiple vectors to align the ultimate goal of Sustainability 2.0 strategy for the company. So very key measurables. So this slide talks a lot about the specific target on which we are working and why we are, confident. So we can see here, the commitment from company here is to, achieve 50% of total energy from RE sources by 2030. But ahead of the curve, this target already we have achieved it. When it comes to, the power sources, so there is the aim to reach to 100% power from renewable sources. So a lot of work is happening. As on date, which I mentioned in the last slide, we have exceeded 50%. So to be very precise, 52% of our energy is coming from RE power sources. And then there are other, various measures which has been taken in which there is a baseline connect. So against a baseline of 2018 to 19, the specific reduction has been targeted. So something like, 50% reduction in the specific greenhouse gases, 30% reduction in the specific energy consumptions, and also 40% reduction in the specific water consumption. So a lot of work is happening, and many milestones already we have achieved ahead of the time. So the company is quite committed, leadership team there is a lot of support, and hence, we are also working with our many, suppliers, the business partners and the technology partners to drive this kind of measures. And sometimes we do take extra mile. We don't care about, ROI, IRR and all, and we try and experiment and do a POC and see the effectiveness. Obviously, the financial metrics are equally important, but many a times when it comes to sustainability, we do take an extra mile and try and see how to address and how to work towards the company larger goal. So very key things. So the last slide is talking about the target, and here what we are saying is, every year we are adding more and more sources of renewable power through solar, wind. So on the right hand side, we can see, in fact, the 0.5 megawatt peak power in 1819 has gone to 52. So you can see almost 100-fold increase in the RE power infrastructure at ITC. Then, the biomass boiler, in last 7 years, we have added 18 boilers we have added across all our manufacturing locations. And these are all addition in terms of the biomass. So day by day, we are gradually shifting from fossil fuel to biomass. And many of our factory has totally gone for 100% biomass based thermal energy. Now, since we are in a larger business, and there are many manufacturing line wherein steam is not the only option. So something like, biscuit baking. Now that requires, LPG or some kind of other fuels. So there also we are working to have, the compressed biogas and, other kind of energy efficient or maybe sustainable fuel. So a lot of work is happening, but the, low hanging bit, shifting from FO based boiler to biomass across all our factory locations, wherever we wanted to have a steam from biomass source, that has been implemented. So, and Foam Marshall has been one of our, the wider partner for that in implementing these biomass boilers. Across all our manufacturing lines, we are also working on how to minimize the specific energy consumption, be it power, be it, fuel, be it water. On all the matrices, we are working towards, the specific energy and water reduction on per kg of FG basis. So a lot of work is happening, and that's where, every 6 months basis, we interact with all our colleagues across the locations, and we encourage a lot of culture in the soft flow to come with an innovative idea and, and basically, go to the ground level and see, how the things can be made better, how our processes can be more improvised, how we can reduce every, even 1 liter of water or maybe 1 kg of steam. So, we do take those kind of measures and see to it ki, the journey towards sustainability and decarbonization goes to a next level. So when we took this initiative, you saw basically 0.5 megawatt peak connection going to 52. So our first, the drive was, wherever we have got the manufacturing plant, let us try and have the rooftop solar. So that was one labor, but again, the roof or maybe the solar roof area is very limited because manufacturing plant requires certain manufacturing area. However, solar requirement is very different. So hence we have gone from on-site to off-site, and even the wind also. So we have evaluated all the combination, and happy to mention it here that wherever it was possible, we have put the solar on the rooftop. We have also tried and utilize the, the car parking area, two-wheeler parking area, and we have also gone for, the different kind of pod system to have, to utilize the solar energy through the existing setup. And offsite also gradually we are in all geographies of India, we are trying and adding solar as well as wind sources. So a lot of work is happening in this direction. Some glimpses you can see here. So one of the images you can see is a carport. So this car parking area doesn't have the, the conventional PEB roof canopy. The canopy is in form of the solar panel that itself is taking care of, the insulated layer as well as also giving us solar power through this sources. Now, when it comes to solid fuel boiler, which we said, we had a great journey in last 7 years. 18 boilers has been added, and many of the boilers has come from Foam Marshall House. And a lot of innovation was done in the sense. The previous installation we used to have, if we need 14-ton boiler, we typically used to go for 14-ton boiler only. But this time we have made a choice to go for modular basis boiler. So for 13 tons, we have gone for 4.5 or 5 TPAs, 3 combination, 4 combination, plus again future provisions to have more and more addition to happen. So a lot of design engineering has been done, and the system has been implemented now. Very clear things. Now what next? So when it comes to we talked about solar, we talked about the wind power. Now we are also trying and aiming towards minimizing the specific energy consumption. So you can see each and every power source in the factory we are revisiting through energy audits, through our own understanding, and also these are a lot of customization is required, because since we are running the factory, team is there in the soft flow, they understand how I can reduce the power consumption in utility, be it HVAC, be it the steam consumption, be it water consumption, be it the soft floor cleaning, be it the process water consumption. So across all the parameters which is linked largely to the process and operations, we have visited the parameters, and we are trying to optimize and going for a customized solutions. So some of the things which has been done in last couple of years, and many of the initiative has been taken by my colleague Prem, who is there in this Prema Guru, who is there in this call also. You can see him on the screen. So something like the automatic flue gas tube purging. So many a times you can go for first time right from the initial stage of project itself. If it is not done, or maybe if it is an old boiler, we have even gone ahead and put the the automated gas tube purging system as a retrofit kind of thing, and that is also giving us an extended running hours, and hence a lot of energy reduction is happening. We have also evaluated the solid fuel additives to improvise the SFR across the boiler, and result has been quite encouraging. So day by day, across all the locations we have multiplied, and we are seeing what all other levers which we can use to improvise our SFR. When it comes to the ETP related handling, so there also we have found decanter is a power guzzler. A lot of power consumption happens, and there we found some innovative solutions like dewatering press, by which the substantial water reduction happens at a very smaller power cost, or maybe with a small connected load. HVAC, we have gone for digitalization. We have gone for the smart utility system, in which our run hour of the chiller has been largely optimized. There's a lot of input we are taking from the ambient condition, from the soft load conditions, and then accordingly we are optimizing it. So there has been a great learning, and a lot of reduction has been done that way. Steam is one of the important cost elements. So we are trying and using these various techniques to improvise the steam efficiency in our system. So system like closed loop condensate recovery, or some kind of vapor condensate recovery. I mean, this kind of measures we have taken across multiple lines. There is still some opportunity to work and further improvise in this area. So a lot of work is happening. In certain processes, we have been using a high pressure compressed air. However, the requirement for at the process end is only some low pressure. So there also we have gone for a the revised design, and hence we are using LP compressor wherever we need to have a LP compressed air only. So by having all these measures, you can see on the right hand side very transparently we have put the number. So there is a very clear evidence that this has given us a lot of substantial benefit, and many such projects are there in the POC at POC level across our multiple locations. And once the POC is done, we try and replicate across all our other factories. So team is working towards this. And the result and outcome you can see at ITC, from 18-19, our volume has gone by 120%. The RE total power has installation base has gone by 90%, and that's a result why our RE percentage, you can see it is up, and currently we are at 51%. A specific energy consumption per ton, you can see almost 30% reduction is already achieved here, and in the same line the specific emission reduction is also achieved, and we are also working on the scope 1 emission reduction, and beyond this also the scope 2 and 3 also a lot of work is happening. So we have a dedicated sustainability team, and they work day in day out across the entire value chain, starting from the procurement of the raw material till the goods are delivered in the market. So we are trying and mapping scope 1, 2 and 3, and being one of the market leader, that is our responsibility also to set the example, so that things can be delivered in a better manner. So that's all from our side. I think it was a great interaction, and happy to take any question if it is.
Any questions for Mr. Manoj? Yeah. Can we have the mic over here, please? To Ranjan. Ranjan.
Mr. Manoj, I'm Ranjan Chatterjee from Forbes Marshall. Firstly, many thanks for such a wonderful presentation And many congratulations for the performance what you have achieved in with respect to energy reduction as also environmental impact reduction. So the question is to you is you mentioned that there is a reduction in specific energy consumption by around 29% over the last 7 years, and almost like 50% on specific greenhouse gas emission reduction. So especially for a multi-plant and multi-product company like ITC, how difficult is it to establish the baseline? And how do you compare, because in each of the plants are also different with respect to their energy intensity and the product line and the product mix. How do you compare between plants?
So you rightly said, since we are a multi-category, multi-businesses company, so on one side we have a papers division which consumes the largest pie of our power. On the other side we have an agri-business wherein the consumption is at a different level. So, but I'll contain my points only up to foods division. So here in foods also you can see on one side we have got a biscuit manufacturing line which is having the oven and heating requirements. On the other side we have the atta manufacturing or spices grinding units which requires primarily the power, no uses of water or steam. While when it comes to potato chips, it's very intensive in the water consumption, because 1 kg of potato chips requires around 9 to 10 liters of water, right? And so similarly we have a diverse the portfolio in which the utility requirements when it comes to the power, water, steam and other utilities are very, very different. Now what we do across our company, across our units, so I think the larger one lever is straight away maximizing the RE power, so that we can have more and more RE power, so that the power cost at factory is low. Now once the cost is low, any intervention when it comes to some kind of process improvement, that also doesn't give too much of a burden on the process improvement. Second bit is let's say for the potato chips, initially there was a day when the water consumption per kg of product was almost 12 to 13 liters. Now it has been brought down to 7 liters, and in some factory now we are piloting wherein consumption has gone down to 5 to 4.5 to 5 kg liter per kg of FG, right? So the thing is, all these interventions has gone through some learning curve, right? So we have gone into a station-wise study of the system, which station is consuming how much water, and then how to minimize it, where to recycle it. So we have one station of water has been sent to second station, which is not critical in nature. So the way process happens is once we take a potato in the line, the potato cleaning is done, and then finally post slicing and all, it goes for a fryer. So the water quality requirement as we go closer to the slicing and maybe the fryer, that increases. But the same water can be used for the initial recycling or maybe the potato washing. So we have tried and innovated a lot of things, how to minimize the water without compromising in the process parameters. So same way, when it comes to noodles, so there also, we have improvised across the line by doing a station-wise study, and that's how we could reduce, let's say, the LP compressed air, HP compressed air going to LP compressed air, then also recycling some of the water, then again some renovation, some kind of innovation at the ETP in wherein the entire discharge of the factory is going. So multiple intervention has been done, and we keep on doing a benchmarking across all the factories. And if one model or if one solution is successful in one factory, we do a brainstorm, and then the replication is planned across the other factories also. So it takes some time, and there is a quite structured and methodical approach to put the system in place before we take it forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your response.
We had some other questions too from that side. Any questions on our YouTube chat? Okay. Thank you for sharing your insightful perspective, Mr. Manoj. Okay. We have one more
Thank you.
question.
Thank you.
Mr. Awasthi, what are the challenges faced by your people for digitization and sustainability for the food division?
I think Mr. Avasthi was speaking.
Oh, sorry,
Mr. Manoj is for you. It's for you, Mr. Manoj.
If you can repeat the question once again.
What are the challenges faced by food division for digitization of the plant as well as the sustainability?
So see, the first point on the digitalization, we have got our food manufacturing line has been, established across last 25 years because it's a 25-year-old business. So we have different generation of manufacturing line. The line which was installed way back in, let's say, 2002, and the latest generation line which has come to 2025. So now each line is sitting on a different technological platform. So the first challenge is, the older line, bringing those, putting some sensors, putting the data, putting a PLC, SCADA system, accumulating, doing a data mining, and taking a logical conclusion by which, the operating team can take a real-time decision. So older generation line was having some challenges, but that we have overcome over a period of time. And all the new infrastructure, we are, from day one itself, we are going first time right, and all the digital infra and all is there in place. On the sustainability parameters, since we have a learning of roughly 25 years now in foods businesses, and the system is quite matured here. So once whatever learning has been done over a period of time, those implementations are happening in the new line, and hence it is, the challenges are little low now. But again, whatever latest development is happening in the industry, we are also getting aware of it. We do evaluate the newer technology and try and implement it. But with a commitment from larger team, from a leadership team, I think company is quite open, and a lot of free hand has given to the execution team. And when we do a planning cycle, normally we factor such initiative in the beginning of the years. We do a POC, which we call it proof of concept, and by end of the year we try and implement at least in one place, and based on the success, replication takes place across multiple locations. Yeah.
Any more questions for Mr. Manoj? Thank you so much, Mr. Manoj. May I now request Mr. Mukund Deshpande, Head Key Account Management and Corporate Marketing, to announce the winners.
Hi everyone. Let me add my welcome to all the guests who are present here, and then thank you very much for coming. I know you have a very busy schedule in your factories and the offices. We appreciate that you have taken your time out and then chosen to be here. Thank you very much again. Yeah. So we'll come to the next bit of important, and then also thank you. I mean, both of them are not there, but both Rahul and then Manoj, I think thank you very much for addressing. I think it was very insightful. We'll get back on some of the things which we can partner together later. And now coming to the awards for this year. Before I start with an award, can I have this AV, which will just tell you about some summary of what has happened over the years for the NCON? Right. So let me start. I mean, as you saw there, we have nominations, which Satya also briefly mentioned about. We had this year nominations from our domestic customers and then also our customers across the sea and then in other countries. So what we have done is that we have divided them into two groups again, such that, our people or customers from abroad are also recognized. So for a domestic thing, we have the same kind of categories which we have continued this year also. I'll come to them, each one of them. So let me begin by first talking about one of our important awards, which is Small Steps and Big Impact. The small steps and big impact, as the name suggests, is, you do small little things and then get much greater impact. That's the kind of thing which we encourage and then we, keep doing with many of our partners. And this year, I'm happy to announce that ABI Group are the winners for this particular category. ABI is basically, as you all know, they are the global brand with more than 500 brands, some of them which are very prevalent in India, like Budweiser, Corona. So this particular recognition is for a work they have done at 5 different plants. And then if you average out the energy saving, and for these particular 5 different plants put together, very small little things which they have done, like condensate recovery, steam trap, corrections and things like that. In some part, even the energy recovery also, which comes to about 5 to 7% of the saving across the plants on an average for these 5. And incidentally, AB InBev were the winners about 2 years ago. And then we have our good friend Jai representing them today. So may I request Vaibhav to come over and hand over the plaque to Jai. Thanks, Vaibhav. Thanks, Jai. I'll call you back again in the end to share some, insights into this. And we have a joint winner in the same category, which is again small impact, small steps and the big impact. I think it's a group of 3 different plants who actually entered into this contest. It's a Sun Pharma Group, they are the winners for this particular category. We had entries coming from 3 different plants like Devas, Ponta Sahib and then Mohali. Again, all these 3 put together, they had an average saving of about 5 to 7% across these 3 plants. Again, doing the small little things of basic stuff, of correcting things on the steam trap and condensate recovery and things like that. And Sun, as you all know, it's you heard Rahul talking about a very insightful thing which he talked about. I think he leads the team with a perfect example. And we have today representative from Sun, Rajendra and Rupesh. Can you come over and then accept this award on behalf of Sun? May I again request Vaibhav if you can do the honors? Incidentally, Rupesh is a recognizable face in Forbes Marshall many years ago. He was with our energy services division. Moving on, we have a next round of next category is basically energy conservation with impact on environment. This time the award basically goes to Hetero Labs. The Hetero Labs is a Hyderabad-based company, and this particular award actually is to the unit 3 of their particular group. And then just to give a glimpse of what they have done, besides the significant reduction in fuel, the plant has reduced water consumption by about 64% and carbon emission by 15%. These improvements also help the plant to avoid the CapEx investment on boilers and the hot water system when they plan for an expansion. And through digital services, the plant is now sustaining the gains also. So I think this is perfectly managed company where a particular unit which has which has a great energy conservation plus an impact on an environment. Unfortunately, the people from HETRO are not there, but they are online. And then maybe we can call them later. Yeah, thank you. So next in this category is basically energy conservation with impact on environment again, which is a joint winner. So this particular award this year goes to Hindustan Unilever, Kamgaon, and then Hindustan Unilever is basically a group which has a variety of businesses, and we all know them for Pierce, Lux, and Breeze, Dough, and whatnot, even the ice creams. And then Surendra is there, they're the dynamic leader for the engineering group, who actually has worked on replacing many of the things with the biomass, especially on the thermic fluid heaters. And then also they have improved their generation efficiency to about 70 to 85%. In overall, I think the reduction in the carbon footprint was to the tune of about 1000 KL per, the water footprint reduction by about 1000 KL. And then also CO2 emission by about 19%. So I think with this particular measure, I think they deserve this particular award of being environmentally conscious and then also doing the energy conservation measure. May I request Mukesh, if you can come over and hand over the trophy. Thanks, Surendra. Thank you. So next in category in domestic customers is about customer who has actually done both the energy and the process improvements. That means, they have taken some measures by which they have improved their energy consumption. Also, it has much significant, significant impact even on their process efficiency. So this year's winner for this particular category is Sri Banashankari Papers. It's a well-known Indian company involved in manufacturing of paper. Just to give you a brief on what they have done towards optimizing their laminate process, they have implemented a measurement, analysis, and control system along with control valves and then the temperature controls, and that enables continuous monitoring and control of process parameters and uniform operations across the batches. Besides this, the plant addressed steam trapping on the presses and dryers and optimized condenser recovery, cumulatively saving about $191,000 for a year. So I think this is something which is a company who had done things and then they have improved not only the energy efficiency but has a much greater impact on their productivity, especially addressing their the quality issues and the rejects. So congratulations, the Sri Banashankari Papers. They're not there, but our hero for this particular customer, Sukumaran, is here. And then may I request him to, not there, okay, we'll give you later. Thank you. And then next in categories, again, the joint winner for the process and energy efficiency improvement is Abhay Solvents. It's an ACP. It's basically a solvent extraction plant based in Koppal, which is about, they have about 600 TPD of solvent extraction. The plant undertook several key measures, including online efficiency monitoring and sustenance, improvement in equipment, steam trapping, and then the condenser recovery, of course. And then also they did a lot of work on the pressure controls and the process measurements. Based on that, they could actually reduce their hexane losses, which is a key element of any solvent extraction plant. And then through a digital sustenance services, they could actually also get the similar benefits on an extended period of time also. So this was Abhay Solvents, and many congratulations to them. And again, they're not present today, but we'll convey our wishes to them. And now coming to the the best award for basically the best managed steam system in the domestic category, which is Asandas and Sons, which is a Mehsana based. They are the popular brand, which is the Hyphen. Asandas actually is a food processing plant known for manufacturing and exporting frozen potato-based foods like French fries, wedges, and patties under the well-known name as Hyphen to about 40 different countries, supplying major quick service restaurants globally. So when you travel abroad, probably you will be eating Hyphen's patties in the burger. The plant is committed to environmental positive practices across their operations and has made significant improvements in their steam and condenser recovery systems. Among their accomplishment for the year, they improved their steam to fuel ratio by about 8%. And then also they had the overall fuel reduction of about $270,000 and then water reduction of about 4,000 KL per year. So I think a very significantly, and then plus they have the sustenance service, which is, they have connected most of their steam system digitally, and then they monitor, and then through a monitoring the steam system database or the real-time data, they actually sustain this performance for the year. So I think all, this is the perfect example as to where you design systems, where you implement some of these measures, and then also put system in place such that it can sustain for a year to come. I think in that sense, this is Asandas is something truly a perfect example of how the well-managed steam system should be. Congratulations, Asandas. And finally, we have again a joint winner for the best managed steam system. This goes to ITC Food, the Mysore plant, which is an ICML plant. And the ITC Food Division Mysore plant, located in Mysore, of course, produces various food products. The plant undertook several improvement measures across steam system within the boiler house, distribution network, flash recovery, and then the heat recovery. And then they also have done a lot of load optimization on their boilers, which has led to a significant saving. And then with all these measures, they have been able to have a whopping 37% reduction in the fuel bill with these measures. And then also water consumption got reduced by about 300 KL per year. So I think this is something which is a very significant, steps they have taken to improve upon their efficiency and the saving. We have two representatives from ITC, Prasad and Kushal. So request them to accept the award on their behalf. Can I call Satya? Thanks, Prasad. Thanks, Kushal. Thank you, Satya. So moving on to our next, so winners from across the borders, and we don't call them as an international territory. They are across the borders, and we are now present in about 42 different countries, and then the operation, about 100 different people are there in these operations looking after this market. And then we are making a significant inroads into these countries as well. So again, here I'll start with some awards which are there for these customers. The first one is the best designed steam system. There is a reason why we had to give this particular award, which was out of turn, but still we had to recognize this. I'll come to that point. So this is given to Alex Apparels for a ready-made garments in Egypt. Alex Apparels is a leading Egyptian garment manufacturer and trusted partner to the world's top brands, crafting garments from concept to a final delivery. With an objective of setting up a benchmark plant, they put in significant efforts in ensuring the right steam system design, including the pressure reduction, monitoring and right steam trapping on their irons, resulting into a benchmark steam consumption of just about 2.5 kg per hour per iron. That is about significantly lower by 72% than their existing plant. So that's the kind of a design which they had, they put in place and then made a dramatic change in their consumption. And then this particular design has been operational for 3 months now. And the reason why we recognize them as the best design plant, because they had an existing plant which was operating at almost 4 times the steam consumption in their plant, and which they have reduced in their new plant with the proper design. I think this is a perfect case of where the right design which Satya talked about, and then both the speakers mentioned about, I think very significant in actually achieving a right energy consumption for your process. So congratulations, Alex Apparels, for this particular thing. I think we'll probably have somebody representing them. We'll see whether they can come online. The next award, it goes to basically for a small steps and a big impact in this particular market. It goes to our Nigerian customer called Evans Burok. The Evans Burok is a branded health and personal care company offering affordable and high quality branded generic pharmaceutical products, hospital consumables, lifestyle and general health products in West Africa. Again, something which they undertook a very simple steps in their steam system, addressing the basic like steam trapping, condensate, and they could actually get to about 10% saving only by doing small little steps or taking a small little steps in their steam system. So congratulations, Evans Block, for this. It's pretty early there in Nigeria. Maybe we may not have them in online, but we'll convey our best wishes to them. Thank you. So next in category is basically energy efficiency with an impact on environment. This particular award goes to another Nigerian company called Neros Pharmaceutical Limited. The Neros Pharmaceutical Limited is again fastest growing pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria, with about more than 200 products and formulation that cut across different therapeutic classes and pharmacological segments. Again, this particular plant undertook energy efficiency, and then they reduced their carbon emission by almost half in their operation, and by addressing some of their critical areas on the steam trapping and condensate recovery system in their plants. Next award basically is around process and energy efficiency with an impact on environment. This particular award goes to our Sri Lankan customer, Palegama Tea Factory in Sri Lanka. So Palegama Tea Factory is well known for crafting premium Ceylon black tea, ensuring tradition, quality, and rich flavor. The plant converted the direct fired air heaters to a steam-based drying, which is something which I think has making a great impact to this particular industry. Not only started with Sri Lanka, but many tea factories now in India, and then also in Kenya currently. I think where we are doing, and this particular thing is a great initiative which can address a dramatic improvement in their steam consumption and also the productivity part. So this addressed, coming back to this particular plant, this addressed key issues on their process being faced, that is the smoked or under or over fired tea, which is basically a quality of the tea itself, and the uniform air temperature in the dryers. The plant also optimized on the steam generation. Through all the measures implemented, the plant was able to cut their fuel consumption dramatically by about 30%, and then improving the quality of their product many folds. I think the perfect example where they not only saved energy, they improved the productivity part, and then also had a greater impact on the environment. The final category is basically a best managed steam system. This goes to Jerash Garments, which is a Jordan-based garment factory. The Jerash Garment manufactures and exports ready-made sports and underwear. The renowned companies like North Face, Timberland, New Balance, American Eagle, and Calvin Klein, and then the Adidas. The plant undertook several measures with their steam system, including reducing steam supply pressures to the irons, addressing steam quality, recovering condensate and the flash steam recovery, and installing steam traps on the garment irons. Overall, they were able to reduce their fuel consumption by about $124,000, which was like about 45% less, and water consumption by about 40%. So dramatic improvement in this particular garment factory, otherwise traditionally seen as something, very least steam consuming, but not necessarily. It's a big company, but I think even if you do small little things with the proper design and then put right measures in place, you have a tremendous potential to actually tap into. So I think it's a good example of a best managed steam system. I think it's been more than a year now where they have been able to operate the plant at this level, which happened because of the intervention they could do in the steam system. So congratulations, Jerash, for a fantastic. Yeah. So maybe what we will do before we come to our physical speakers here, we'll try to get some people online if they are. Alexin, anyone from domestic? Hetero Labs. Can you get them online?
Good morning. Sir, good morning. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to join online. So I am Yugandhar Reddy from Hetero Labs Limited, Unit 3, Hyderabad.
Okay. Probably try to get him back again. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone from the international territories are online? No one. Okay. All right. So can I request Jai to come and talk about a few minutes on some of the things which the measures you've taken and any insights which you want to share?
Hi, good morning everyone. We'll start with a small introduction. Myself Jay Gupta. I look after utility and sustainability for AB InBev India. I'm working in the same organization for around 5 years. I carry 14 years of total experience in utility system. When it comes to this reward, right, I'm very much privileged, right, to be here from AB InBev, and it's a very prestigious award for us. Because not me, this is not only for me, this is for the entire engineering team who is working day and night at our 8 different breweries at different locations, and they're putting a lot of efforts to reduce the energy footprint, right? Because we all know, right, that nowadays sustainability is something which is the paramount thing for all of us, right? And AB InBev as a company, we are having our sustainability goals, in which from baseline 2019, we were having a target to reduce 35% carbon neutrality, right, by 2025. And I'm very happy to announce here that this year, right, so far on YTD, we have already reduced 56% our carbon footprints. Moreover to this, Mukund sir just said that in this year we had a lot of initiative from different breweries in which we reduced 5 to 7% on overall energy. Would like to tell you another story of our the journey. C19, right? Our baseline number for total purchase energy was 183 megajoule per hectoliter. Right, so because I come from a beer company, right, so for us, all the units we measure into per hectoliter what we produce. Would like to tell you that in last 5 years, right, our energy number now this year YTD we are at 110 megajoule per hectoliter, which is around 40% improved than the baseline. This is again an impact of my team who is putting a lot of efforts, not only on reducing the steam by putting efforts on process, but doing the benchmarking exercise. So for us, the important aspect is the benchmarking. How we do each process in beer making comes from a different applications. So wort boiling, bottle washers, bottle pasteurizers, we have our own generated toolkits in do we calculate how much a steam consumption has to happen in each application. And there our journey starts for the improvement. It can be because of the right heat exchange, right? Doing the right maintenance of heat exchangers to get the right heat exchange, the condensate recovery, right? The absolute transfer of condensate, and a great help from Forbes Marshall team, right? Because recently we have gone for a lot of innovative systems and technologies like SOPTs, flash steam recovery, right? Which has actually helped us to get the better steam exchange, right? And getting the better condensate recovery at our boiler. So not only the benchmarking exercise, but the mindset of my team, of my people. So AB InBev as a culture, we do inculcate and we call it 3R, which is responsibility, resources, and rewards. So we all are responsible, right? We all are the sustainable warriors. And then it comes to the resource. Forbes Marshall is one of the resource which has actually helped us all the time to do the benchmarking exercise, to find out the real gaps and tell us the right potential, right, to reduce our overall steam consumption. And then the rewards. So this is one of the award which is not only for me, for my entire team. And then we are having our own reward programs into our system, which we give to our team who are actually working at floor and reducing the overall energy consumption at different applications. This is it from my end. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Anyone, son, Rajendra, you want to? Yeah, please. Later we'll take it. If you can share some thought. Yeah.
Hello everyone. I will thank you for Marshall Management and Sun Pharma Management for giving this opportunity. To us. I will introduce myself first. I'm Rajendra Gade. I'm taking care of utility, sustainability, and energy conservation projects in Devas location. And I'm basically graduate engineering, having 28 plus years of experience, and in Sun Pharma from last 10 years I will be there. So this journey, our journey starts in somewhere 17 or 18 with the leadership of Ashish Kothari. He has visited us there, and we work upon all these steam conservation activities and all these things. Basically, from the scratch, we have done all these things. Some steam audits we have done there, and in pharmaceutical, what has happened, we have some equipments like FBDs and coating systems. Their steam is required, and what happens that if the temperature is not achieved, then the operators, they used to bypass the steam, open the bypass wall and bypass all the traps there. So that is the major steam loss always, and also these increasing our process time. So with the help of Forbes Marshall team, we have started these audits and all these things. Then we started from the basic, that selection of traps, then the improvement of process time, and the educate our peoples. Then what happens that if the trap is not correct, then evacuation of condensate and puncture of steam coils, that major problem we are facing. So by installing SOPT, steam operated pumping tram, on our critical equipments, we are able to reduce our process time, and that is major our achievement in reducing the process time as well as reducing the steam consumptions. And then recovery of condensate, we have increased the steam to fuel ratio. Then we have increased our flash steam recovery. We have done the lots of projects we have done there, and we thanks for Marshall team to guide us on the ways. If I take the baseline of FY20, then we reduce our carbon emission basically for the Devas location, if I say it is around 47%, and we have taken a target of 50% by FY 2030, but already we have most of our locations have achieved, and we have reduced our water consumption around again 39 to 38%, because I recall what the figures, we have the 1.8 lakh KL water requirement in somewhere 16-17. Now it is around 1.56 lakh only. So it is very impressive changes are there. Definitely the credit goes to all team and our all support system likes for Marshall. So I will take this opportunity to thank you again. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rajendra. May I request Prasad, if you can just...
Good afternoon all. My name is Prasad. First of all, I thank you for Marshall for choosing one of our plant for this award. So I came on behalf of Mysore plant, which they have participated in these awards. I took on behalf of them. So regarding ITC, we have very longly associated with Forbes Marshall since many years in many energy conservation project, all utility related things. So we have implemented most of the technologies related to energy saving and all. So I mainly I am working with ITCs last 22 years, especially in engineering function. So we have implemented a lot of energy saving and water saving and sustainability related things, which our general manager projects and engineering has already explained in detail in the presentation. So coming to this association with the Forbes Marshall, and we have a lot of interaction in terms of energy conservation, and we are adopting new technologies related to energy saving and water saving and other things. We have done also many places we switch to our regular FO based boiler to biomass based boilers, mainly to conserve the energy and other things. And other than that, we have taken a lot of initiatives in terms of condensate recovery and energy optimization and all these things. So thank you for giving the opportunity. You want to add anything? Sure.
Hi everyone, quick intro. My name is Kushal Sosle. I handle projects at our foods plant here in Ranjangaon, about 70 kilometers from here. Mostly Mr. Prasad has discussed everything, and of course our head of engineering, Mr. Manoj Singh, has also spoken about our challenges. He answered a couple of questions about what is challenging. I would like to expand on them very quickly. For example, from a technical perspective, we are different process lines. We have different pressure requirements. We have different temperature requirements. So this is also a challenge, but we take it more as more of an opportunity because because I lead projects. For me, it's more of an opportunity as a mechanical engineer by qualification. For me, it becomes more of an opportunity to because we have different stations and different pressure requirements. Where can we divert the steam? And like essentially, obviously, our triple bottom line is our main goal, as Mr. Manoj Singh had mentioned. So yeah, all I'd like to emphasize is the opportunity our diverse portfolio presents is actually very vast, and we would really like to explore further. It could be in energy saving, it could be how we could divert steam better, as condensate recovery, as Mr. Prasad mentioned. So yeah, from a technical perspective, we have a lot of opportunity, and we would like to continue working further. Thank you.
So being a diversified product portfolio we are always hunger for new technologies, and we will try to implement all the new technologies. Which we have all big support from our management for expanding into new technologies. Thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Many thanks, Prasad and Kushal. Those guys are on? Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to speak up. Actually, we from Hetero Labs, and myself, Yugandhar Reddy, taking engineering services at here, Unit 3, Hyderabad, formulation plant. So we started working with Force Marshal on this energy conservation and pressure drop issues in our steam lines in year 2023. So we started this initiative in our plant when we started. There were a lot of pressure drop issues with respect to the equipment, temperature control issues, and other condensate recovery related issues. So even for small inefficiencies like steam leakages, insulation related issues, malfunctioning of traps and boiler efficiency, all resulting in a lot of energy losses. So to overcome this, we associated with Force Marshal and started working on boiler and distribution lines to optimize the generation, distribution, and utilization of steam so that we can reduce the fuel consumption and minimize the wastage of steam, condensate, and improve the system reliability. So in this process, we closely worked with Force Marshal, setting up a KPIs to enhance the condensate return factor and feed water temperature and pressure drop in steam distribution network. So each KPI is identified with some of the corrective actions in the existing system, like installation of condensate recovery pumps and the recovery piping from each equipment to the feed water tank, back into the feed water tank, so that the condensate return factor is almost reached to the 80+% as on date. Whereas coming to the feed water temperature, by adding this condensate recovery, we were able to maintain around 90+ degrees on daily, and the pressure drop issues were almost eliminated at equipment level by installing independent PRVs for different blocks. Actually, we have 3 blocks at different locations in the same site where the pressure drop was overcome by installing the PRVs. All these initiatives are taken up and executed in a running plant without any interruption of production schedules of that particular month. So as on date, we are trying to sustain this, whatever we achieved, and trying to have revised targets to improve further. So here I would be very much thankful to our management and Force Marshal team who are part of this project and encouraged on day to day to complete this project. And we will go for revision in the targets and we will try to achieve that in upcoming years also. Once again, thank you very much for giving this opportunity to participate. Actually, unfortunately, we could not join because of our work schedules, which are already scheduled for in a pharmaceutical industry like audits and all. But we will be very thankful to you for giving this opportunity to speak and giving us this energy conservation award to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Etro team, and thanks Harish, the person who actually, handholds them from Forbes Marshall. He's also here. Good. So this is the end of the award, the announcement part. As you see that, this particular Energy Conservation Day, and then the awards are growing year on year in terms of the participation. We had, as we said, more than 80 of them, coming this year, and we hope to keep increasing this on a year-on-year basis. And then, if you see the case studies, I mean, if you see what you heard from people also, I think they're all. The best part of this is there is nothing like a rocket science in these things. I mean, they're all small little things done on a consistent basis. Firstly, identifying what needs to be done, and then doing the right things, and then making sure that you put the right resources in place. And then, as Mr. Yugandhar, he rightly pointed out, one of the fear of not doing these things is the fear of getting the shutdown. But I think these things are easily possible even in a running plant, as you heard from him. So I think it's a better management, the better engineering of this, something which will lead to a better results. So thank you very much, and congratulations to all the winners present here and present online. Can I turn this over to Nikita? Take this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukund. Heartiest congratulations to all the winners. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your experiences. May I now invite Mr. Vaibhav Pradhan, Group Head, Forbes Marshall, to deliver the closing remarks, please.
Static. That's the power of energy. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for the exciting energy, enthusiasm, and commitment which you all brought to this event today. Energy Conservation Day is not just a date on the calendar. Satyadev mentioned that it's the 14th of December, that's the Energy Conservation Day. We are just celebrating it today just to matter of convenience, but it's a reminder of our responsibility we share towards building a more efficient, sustainable, and future-ready world. Today, as we have seen, what passionate people, when they come together with a common purpose, we can achieve remarkable things. Looking back on today's insights, we began the day with the opening remarks by Satyadev Purohit. He mentioned that steam system is a slave system. It actually is supposed to react to the expectations of production. He mentioned three specific things which are very relevant to us when we look at the steam engineering concepts. He mentioned that there has to be an adaptation of design, and the design to suit the selection of products and the solutions in the steam space. He then mentioned the importance of what we all have to go through when we have to really maintain the overall operating systems. So the importance of operations and maintenance. And then he touched upon this whole concept of how these have to be sustained to really create that world of difference on an ongoing basis. We had Miles Sami, who joined him on the opening comments, where he mentioned the importance of what we understand from doing deep insights into the plants when we do energy audits at Forbes Marshall. How does it enable us to understand a lot of nuances of what it is in terms of the energy potential which we can really harness at each of the plants? And then Satyadev actually mentioned two specific things which are very relevant. One, he said that, there is always that potential to really take forward that 20 to 25% energy savings at each of the process industries. And the second and the most significant factor is to really understand the benchmarks which we have at various industries. What is that which the industry is ideally able to achieve? Where is my operating plant and its parameters as compared to the benchmark plant? And that itself throws a lot of energy potential avenues which we can harness. We had the keynote which was delivered by Mr. Rahul Avasthi, a very powerful insight which he said when he used the first statement that energy is the lifeline of every industry. I think it's a very important message for all of us, and he drew the parallels between what we do to our body and how the boiler is compared as the heart of the entire steam system. So I think these are very insightful things. There are again things which he spoke about which are very important and vital when he was looking at the overall concepts of what he does when he looks at the whole credibility of fuel flexibility on one hand, the intensity of energy usage, and he made a mention that there are many plants which are now having a condensate recovery factor of greater than 90%, where his feed water temperature in the process plants are now delivering a temperature of 85 to 90 degrees. And he then spoke about digitization, the avenues which artificial intelligence and machine learning is throwing up. But specifically, he mentioned about three things which are again something which are very relevant to us. He spoke about asset management, something which again resonated with the opening statements which Satyadev mentioned to us. Second, he mentioned about the sustainability, the compliance challenges which the industry has, because he was speaking from the standpoint of API, which is really an industry which is always subjected to compliance challenges and expectations. And then he spoke about how digitization and the whole industry 4.0 is underutilized today. There is a very important need to really integrate various inputs which come in the form of parameters from various areas. He mentioned about boilers, he mentioned about compressors, but what he was trying to really take forward as an input to all of us to work on is how does this enable us to have a better future. These digital inputs are only the starting point. They can only give you something as parameters to look at. But his own opinion was that the integration of this data to make meaningful outcomes is something which we should take forward as a learning for today. Then we had Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh. He reinforced many of those statements which were made by the eloquent speech of Satyadev, and then followed by what Mr. Awasthi spoke about, the importance and relevance of reducing costs. He actually took us through a very beautiful journey of how energy conservation and sustainability is taken as a measure of effectiveness at ITC Foods Division. He gave us a lot of insights of how we can really look at benchmarking to start with, and where is ITC in terms of the output parameters. A few of the things where they have exceeded their own expectations and understandings, where they are now at 52% of the energy resources coming from renewable sources, where they have now 53% of the electricity consumption coming from, again, renewables, which are in the form of wind and solar. He took us through the journey of what they have done at ITC to really look at harnessing this, not only within their premises, but outside at various locations which they have highlighted. He spoke about the key deliverables and drivers of sustainability, S 2.0, that's what he was speaking about at ITC. How does it impact in terms of reducing the specific energy consumption? How does it impact the specific water consumption? And then he took us through this whole exercise of how these factories are exercising the energy efficiency improvement projects, focused on biomass fuels for thermal energy concept. And then he again took forward in a very systematic manner the design concept which Satyadev was speaking about, modularity, how ITC has actually implemented it. So it's actually really walking the talk of what the design philosophy can actually do to a very modular networking and the outcomes in terms of the energy footprint as far as steam and condensate systems are concerned. One of the things which touched my heart personally was he mentioned that at ITC, they foster a culture on the shop floor to improve the parameters, and it's a journey towards sustainability. I think it's a very important facet which we should not forget, that energy conservation is not an option. It is a necessity, it is a discipline, and it's all about mindset. If we look at what we then had to go through in terms of our own journey of experiences and understanding, looking at the presentations and discussions, what we took as messages when it came to what Mailsamy spoke about, three things which he spoke about. One is he mentioned that there are technology changes. While he made that there were technology changes, he also said that the industry is evolving. But he again came back to the basics and said that fundamentals are so powerful. I think that's actually something where we should again go back, that most of the inspiring case studies which we saw from the presentations, as well as from what we saw from the participants who were declared as winners today, They speak about exactly the same concept, that small steps, big impacts, energy impact on environment, best managed steam systems, best designed steam systems are areas which we can really harness well. And while we at Forbes Marshall have converted them into awards, most of these companies have tried to walk the talk and tried to deliver the benefits there. These years, energy conservation solutions focused heavily on practical, high impact measures. Few of them were really very specific in terms of mentioning the parameters about specific steam consumption, specific water consumption, what they have done to emissions and discharges, what has been their strategy to look at load optimization on boilers, what have they done in terms of boiler efficiency monitoring, pressure controls at an equipment level, what it means to really look at the parameters which influence the processes. How does it play a role in terms of the significant impact by doing just arresting of leakages on the hygiene end, towards really looking at measures of effectiveness of selecting and maintaining the overall steam trap management, addressing efficiency, improvement and intensity and productivity. And on the other hand, really looking at how does it impact the overall parameters of maximizing condensate and flash recovery. These examples are not just actions, but when implemented consistently, they really have delivered savings, not only in fuel, but in creating a reliable, downtime reduced, and a plant which is really safe and healthy in terms of its operating parameters on an ongoing basis. These examples show that innovation doesn't always require huge investments. The myth that we always think that, one of the things which we heard when the Hetero team was talking to us, that we need shutdowns, we need these challenges. There is a need to really look at a fresh perspective, an eye for detailing, and the courage to question the status quo. I think these are the three primary reasons by which we can look at success. Every solution that was shared today highlights the creativity and technical strength, and these actually then give us the confidence that we can create a better future. While we must continue addressing these fundamentals, it is also good to look at what were the emerging opportunities which were shared with us. We had actually looked at a lot of insights in terms of plant-wide heat integration. So that's something which I thought was very interesting. They were looking at heat recovery solutions. It was talking about automation, better control and predictive maintenance, and the whole concept on digital monitoring and real-time insights. In the recent times, digitalization has accelerated tremendously. It helps the plant to definitely track performance and identify deviations quickly, but it is also ensuring a long-term sustainability of improvements. And I think there are a lot of things which Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh spoke when he was addressing the answers to the questions which were asked by Ranjan and also subsequently by Mahendra Autade, where he said that keeping in pace with the new learnings is equally important, while you actually look at integrating the older systems to really stay updated. So it's very crucial that, again, gets back to the basics that, the design is important. What we do in terms of product selection and operations is important to really look at sustainability as a measure of effectiveness. Going forward, what I would say is that a strong mindset, consistent monitoring and disciplined execution are what truly deliver benchmark results. It would be good for each one of us to carry one thought with us ahead. Energy excellence does not begin in the boiler house or in the process equipment. It begins in our mind and what we do in terms of our actions. When we focus on fundamentals, efficiency follows. When we choose to improve, innovation follows. When we commit to monitoring, sustainability follows. And when we collaborate, there are a lot of examples which we saw, presentation after presentation and winners after winners, who said that teamwork is the real input to make success follow. Today, it has been a reminder of what we are capable of when we work together with purpose, intent, and passion. Let us take this momentum back to our teams, our plants, and our daily work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. May I now request Mr. Mukesh Vyas, Group Head Forbes Marshal, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
So thanks. So I just wanted to say that as we are bringing this year's Energy Conservation Day celebration to close, but I think it's really impactful to see the kind of excitement after seeing the case studies are phenomenal. It throws a lot of opportunity to multiple plants as well as a nation and industry to improve upon in energy savings. So it's my privilege to extend our sincere thanks to everyone who made today's event meaningful. To our distinguished speakers, starting from Satya to all our customers who shared their case studies. It gives a lot of encouragement to everyone and their expertise and a lot of insights which came out in this today's event. I would like to specially acknowledge to all the plants who has sent their entries to our and also to the winners who has really got exceptional awards from Forbes Marshal. The thoughts and efforts behind each improvement which measure and your initiative to continuously challenge the status quo. So I think it's not like we celebrate once and then we forget it. We keep challenging our thoughts every time and keep thinking how to improve further. And that's the way which I've seen in all the awards which has been given. It's a very focused actions which comes forward, and they have dedicated minds which is coming to make sure it happens. I would like to thank all our customers and partners who join us at here as well as remotely to make this event successful, and also to all colleagues which are here to make this event really much more powerful. The knowledge which brings on the table as well. So second thing which I want to say that the effort which field teams, our branch colleagues, our service teams, our audit teams, and all the corporate marketing teams, which brings and make this event really a successful. So I would like to appreciate all of them as well. So thank you once again for all your presence, your participations and contributions. It gives us encouragement when more customers come forward and our team which share their knowledge with a lot of passions to take it ahead next year as well, and with more and more inspiring stories which bring us to say do much more as a Forbes Marshal in their plants to improve further. So thank you everyone once again from my side and also the Forbes Marshal. One last announcement before we break for the lunch. I would like to invite everyone to join us for group photo and then to our museum and R&D tour. So thank you everyone, and we are closing the event. Thank you.
May I request everyone to kindly assemble outside for a quick group photograph. Post this, we will take a tour of the Forbes Marshal Museum and our R&D facility. Thank you.